Welcome back. Now let's look at trouble in the judiciary, or should I say trouble in the judiciary?
With a question
huge
mark.
question mark. Well, President Buhari has suspended Justice Walter Onogen as the Chief Justice of the nation. The president said he acted to save the judiciary, which he said was becoming infected by the alleged corruption he claimed arose from the alleged improper declaration of assets by the Chief Justice. He specifically said he acted on the orders of the Code of Conduct Tribunal, CCT, and he immediately swore in Justice Tanko Mohammed from Bauchi State as the acting CJN. The action was immediately flayed by politicians, groups, civil society activists, and lawyers who said that the president had usurped the powers of the National Judicial Council, NJC, and the Senate. Well, we have the Executive Director, Center for the Rule of Law, Mr. Olashukbo Ujo, with us this morning to help us put some meaning into this and give us some perspective on this. Good morning, Mr.
Good morning.
Ujo.
Good morning.
Now, point blank question. Can the president suspend the CJN?
The president cannot, has no power to suspend the Chief Justice of Nigeria.
Or the question again,
Yes.
can the Code of Conduct Tribunal or Bureau suspend the CJN?
No, the Code of Conduct Tribunal cannot suspend the CJN. And what you have seen at play is something that is unfathomable. It couldn't ever have been imagined that Nigeria can never get to this point. I've seen the order purportedly acted upon by the president, and I've gone through it carefully. There's nowhere the tribunal directed the president to suspend the CJN. So the president actually lied when he stated.
Did you say that?
Yes, yes.
Oh dear.
He lied when he stated publicly that he was acting on the directive of the tribunal. The tribunal never told him that if you have a copy of the court order, just go and check it. The order said that the CJN shall step aside. That's the first order. As the CJ and also as the chairman of the National Judicial Council, pending determination of the motion on notice. The second order was to direct the president to swear in the next in rank.
So in that case,
in essence,
the first order says the CJN shall step aside.
Yes.
And so that is the same thing that the president has said, you know what, we thought that you could step aside, you could have stepped aside by yourself, but since you didn't do that, the CCB is now saying, step aside.
No. The truth is, even if the court makes order that the Onogen shall step aside, has he stepped aside? Before you can now say you want to appoint the next in rank, you must first ascertain, has he stepped aside? Because that order of court must even be communicated to the CJN. Has it been communicated to him? Has he reacted to it? Has he said he was obeying the order or he was challenging the order? Does he have a right under our law to challenge that order? He has the right to challenge that order because on the 22nd, you see, when government has already chosen to follow the rule of law by going to the tribunal, you should answer of allow the law to take its course.
Okay.
Now, on the 22nd, there was a session in the tribunal. The prosecutor said they have a motion already served that the CJN should step aside. And the Onogen's lawyers also, the CJN's lawyers also said, yeah, we also have an objection that this court has no jurisdiction to even sniff at this matter. And it was advised. The law is that when your jurisdiction is being challenged, the only jurisdiction you have is to determine whether you have jurisdiction or not. Okay. And he agreed. Okay. The matter was then adjourned to the 28th for parties to come and address
we have Professor Sagay's response to this this issue. Let's have it. from the control room.
This decision is both legally, morally, and constitutionally right. From what I've heard, because I'm speaking as an individual now, my private legal opinion, I heard in the news that the removal was a directive from the Code of Conduct Tribunal. So that as far as I'm concerned, if that is the case, the president was carrying out a court order. That's number one. Number two, the suspension could have been carried out in another manner by Section 292, Paragraph 1 of the Constitution, which clearly gives the president the right to remove the Chief Justice if he is guilty of the breach of the Code of Conduct. From what I can gather, this order of the tribunal was made before the Court of Appeal order. So, I mean, obviously, it cannot affect something that has already been done. Looking at it from a moral angle, the head of the judiciary, the number one judicial officer of the country, head of the branch of government, is under suspicion of breaking very, very grave provision of the Constitution, for which there's provision that he could lose his job. If he's accused, any self-respecting Chief Justice would have stepped down pending the prosecution of the whole matter.
Heard what the Professor Sagay said. What's your reaction to that?
I think he has rightly said that he was only offering his own personal legal opinion. And my personal legal opinion is also that he is wrong. Because, number one, the tribunal did not direct the president to suspend the CJN. So he was wrong on that note. Okay. The president went on a frolic of his own. If you listen to the statement he issued while he was purporting to appoint an acting CJN, you will see that everything he said there came out of the blues. They were not in the court order. Okay. If truly he was obeying that court order, he should simply have just referred to that order. But there was nowhere in that order that he was directed to suspend anybody. Okay. That's number one. The section referred to by Professor Sagay is very clear. You can only remove the CJN on the advice of 2/3 majority of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is what that section produced. Now, is there any such advice?
Which is the same condition for removing the Senate president?
Yes, yes.
And probably the president.
Yes, the president
because all three of them are heads of the three arms of government. So one person of that arm cannot remove another.
It cannot. It cannot. And if you look at what he said, that the CJN can be removed for breach of code of conduct. Yes, it is there. Has he been found guilty of breaching code of conduct? He himself said there is suspicion. So,
no, but
just by mere suspicion, the president can remove him?
But the CJN himself came out and said that he forgot to declare certain assets.
Yes, and that is accommodated in the Code of Conduct Bureau Act. The law says if the Bureau brings it to the attention of somebody who has failed to declare, and the person in writing now admitted and declared, you don't need to charge him for any offense again.
Okay,
that is what the law says.
Part of the letter that I read yesterday from concerning the press release from the president concerning this removal or this suspension is that it would have, the CJN on his own could have stepped aside, just so he's not pretending over a system that is supposed to be looking into him. And so he didn't do that. And then the CCT has advised this, and that is what he has carried out.
Now, he cannot, the law is very clear on this. The CJN is a lawyer, first and foremost a lawyer, then the head of the judiciary. He knows the provisions of the law. He knows that he has complied with the law. Now, what is he stepping aside for? The president coming around to say he expected him to set aside, that is his own personal wish. You understand? That's an expression of his personal desire. They are not the same person. I mean, the president has been accused of several infractions of the law. Why didn't he step aside? He didn't. Now he is expecting somebody, the head of another arm of government. You know, there is a reason why the law deliberately protected the offices, the head of the judiciary,